Welcome to another episode of the Ravi Nadar Show. Today, I'm super excited and we are going to talk about personal branding, and how it will help you to double your growth in your career. Now, today I have a special guest, someone who I admire for his personal grooming and appearance and also his styles. And I'm super excited to welcome this guest who is from a small town boy who believes in his dreams and has a mission of transforming 1 million lives by grooming them to their next best version. And author Vishal Manocha offers frameworks like DRESS, and flagship programs like Grooming Mastermind that help in attracting multiple opportunities by bringing people closer to their dream career. By helping them to achieve 2x salary, he has worked in the grooming industry for over 12 years with top brands like Philips and Havells India, achieving phenomenal success over time. He discovered his purpose and passion of infusing self beliefs in others. It laid the foundation of Vishal School of Grooming, which aims to bring out the best in you, enhancing your overall personality. Vishal Manocha is the winner of the globally recognized Performance Award and the Best Digital Content Marketing, and also an TEDx speaker. And while working in the corporate world, he believes in mentoring and associating with people who are committed towards self development. And together, please welcome none other than Vishal Manocha, India's first career grooming mentor. Welcome, Vishal.
Hey Ravi, thank you so much for such a lovely introduction.
Thank you, Vishal. It's a pleasure, for you having here on my show. Now, Vishal, just take us back to your journey, like how it all got started. I know, you were working in the corporate, and now, you are like helping people, and you're mentoring, and you're helping them to double their growth. Like how this has happened, actually, how all this got started.
Yeah, Ravi. So it's a very interesting story. It started from, as you rightly said, that I belong to a very small town, and the name of the small town is Mubarakpur in Punjab, and it's very close to Chandigarh. Born and brought up there, my parents were government employees, and as always, they wanted me to be into a job, uh, getting a good, high-paying job, and developing a career and being loyal to the organization, staying connected to the organization for a long time, and climbing the ladder of the life. That is what all the parents, especially the government employees and the professionals, tell their children. So that was the beginning, and uh, moving forward from there, I just thought that uh, let's do engineering to get a good job, as my father was an engineer. So did that also. 3-year diploma. I was not a good scorer in 10th. I got some 60% marks. And then my parents said that, still you have an option. You can go for a 3-year diploma, and then maybe a BTech would open up for you. So that followed. BTech happened, and to be a mechanical engineer, a big time introvert, shy person, because of mechanical engineering, it further got engraved here that you are an introvert and a shy personality, Vishal. So from there, did a job also for 8 months, good 8 months, in Sonalika Tractors in Hoshiarpur in Punjab. And there I found one guide who was like my boss. He said, Vishal, why don't you uh, move out of this, because this is something which you're not enjoying. He found before me that I'm not enjoying this job because I was not able
Okay.
to perform. I was not able to
Mm-hmm.
perform.
Mm-hmm.
And went on to do an MBA after that from Amity Business School. Passed out in 2009, and then got to a campus placement, which was lucky me because it was a recession period, and 54th guy to get placed out of a batch of 600 students. So
Oh,
that was like
okay.
a proud moment that at least I got to a campus placement, and that's where
Mm-hmm.
the journey started, Ravi. Uh, I mean, every alternate year I used to get promotions, but then it was like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is that something which I'm looking for? Is that something which I really want in my life? So I wanted to discover more the purpose, the direction, and how I can move forward. So
Mhm.
completed my Phillips and Havel's journey, even though it was grooming at Phillips, it was grooming at Havel's, and put together 12
Mhm.
years into the grooming industry. Lot of ups and downs, lot of bad relationships with people, how to cope up with them, how to cope up with the office politics, all that happened.
Mhm.
But then these were all the learnings. The failures teach you how to grow in your life, how to grow in your career. And one fine day, got a chance to meet a person who says that I build businesses around passion. So
Mhm.
he is none other than my mentor, Dev Gadvi,
Mhm.
where I got that confidence, where I got that courage to go all in and start my own brand. So it's been 1 year, 2 months precisely, Ravi, and I am loving this journey, enjoying this journey because I am building a personal brand.
Absolutely. And like, have you thought about like, because as you said, like it's been like 1 year, around 2 months. Okay. Sometime you might be like, is that something which is real, or because it has happened, like, maybe we can say like so soon sometime, and sometime it's kind of a dream, because especially people who are like into the career, and especially into the mid career, they do not have that much courage to come out of that particular job and to do something like you, which you have taken that particular step, and like, you're just doing good. So what would you like to tell to these kind of a people, especially like, who are still thinking, maybe like, should I do or not, and all.
Yeah, Ravi, thanks for asking this question. This question is really, really close to me. And I remember those days when I was taking that decision, and it was not an easy decision. You know it very well. So
Absolutely not. Yep.
yeah, and your family is your support function in each and every such big decision in your life. And when that support function says that it's not done, you cannot do it, Vishal. This is not the right way to opt for things. So you feel like there's no one to back you up. There's no one to support you. So one was that element. One was that I mean, I would say that was the biggest challenge I was facing because I was always very close to my family, as
Mhm.
everyone is. Then probably what happened is that this courage I muscled down from, of course, the mentorship program, and plus the differentiator, I would call it, in my dress mechanism. The first letter is differentiator D. When I found my differentiator, uh, or you may say it a passion, I got that confidence that this is something which I can really take it to the next level. And till the time I experiment, till the time I try it out, it's not going to happen. And how will I find out if I don't try
Mhm.
it? There is no one who can tell you that you can do it without trying. So I have one message to give to the audience here right now itself, that if you have some idea in your mind, do contemplate, do go into that and try it out and see that what comes out. And now I have multiple mentees right now with me who are even in their career, who are mid career professionals, but they are still trying out these ideas. They are still contemplating that how it can work. And that's what happened to me when I was the part of this mentorship program. I started trying. April 2022, April 2021 is when I started trying. In June 2021, I quit my job and started developing a personal brand. And that's how it is. I'm not saying it's 3 months for anyone here, but it could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, it could be 12 months. Just make sure that you have a good financial backup as well, which takes care of your
Absolutely.
family. And then
Mhm.
probably you have that courage to jump into any of the ideas you want to explore and stick to it. Man, you need to stick to it. If you will not stick to it for like at least 5 years, I would say, then it's not an idea. It's just a habit. It's just a, I mean, I would say, what do we call it? It's just a fascinating thing which you came across and you found it from someone You just copied it and you started doing it. That's not the case. If you are really loving it, if you're really passionate about it, if you really want to try it out, go all in and make sure you give it 5 years.
Absolutely. And this is where, like, most of them, they, and especially you said something like, there should be enough backup, and that is absolutely true. Because what happens here, one thing, like, people might be having that inside, that burning desire, that I want to get it done, like I wanted to do something of my own, and it can be anything. Maybe I want to change my career, and I want to, like, go for, like, some big brands and start giving interviews and everything. It can be anything, but you need to have that courage muscle. Definitely there should be a backup, and also, like, the discipline you need to go through. Because I see, like, so many might be thinking like, array, like, working for a job, it's kind of like hectic, 8 hours or maybe 9 hours. But if I'm doing my business, I just need to work 4 hours. But they don't know that, like, it should be, you should be having the discipline to, like, work double. That is
Yeah.
something missing. Now, talking about the personal brand, Vishal, why is that important, especially the personal brand, and for, like, people, for their career, and especially why it is important after COVID-19?
So, personal brand, first, people need to understand that what exactly is a personal brand. So, a personal brand to me, especially to me, Ravi, it means that, what people say when you are not in the room. Yeah. So, when you are in the corporate world, especially the mid-career professionals, so there are a lot of gossips, a lot of discussions, a lot of fruitful meetings which are happening all the day throughout. How do you
Yep.
portray yourself? How do you carry yourself? How do you build your image inside the organization? And then the next element is exposure. How do you expose yourself to the senior management, people above your boss? Is the key thing when it comes to career branding. Yeah. And if you don't know the senior above your boss, there is something which is probably you need to work upon. If you don't know the people in other departments, like if you are in marketing, you don't know the people in sales, you don't know the people in finance, you don't know the people in HR department, that means there is something missing. And here the most important thing is that you need to network. It does not require more than 10 minutes to 20 minutes a day from your busy schedule to go and talk to people who are from different streams, who are from different departments. If you go and speak to them, you will, first of all, enhance your knowledge. Second, is that they will start knowing you better. And when you speak to these people for the first time, especially the strangers, you introduce yourself. The more you introduce yourself, the more the command you will have on your communication and more courage you will develop in talking to various people and networking with them. So, this is what is I call a very important element in personal branding, which starts from career branding when it comes to mid career professionals. So, inside the organization, building such a network, such an ecosystem, and talking to different departments is the starting point of building a personal brand. And I will repeat and I will complete the circle from where I started. It's what people say when you are not in the room is the personal brand which you need to develop. And it starts from career branding for a mid career professional. And then, probably, when you find out your differentiator, that this is what makes me stand out, this is my USP, this is my micro niche, from there, you can always vouch for building a personal brand, be it your own business, be it your own venture. The doors will open for sure.
Okay. And like, now there might be so many people, they may be thinking that, hey, this is not something which is for me. Like you said, that is rightly, like, you need to network within the organization. That is when, like, people will come to know, like, who you are, from which department you are, and everything. What would you, or like, how these people can get to do these particular things, especially people who are saying them that, but I'm an introvert. Like, how can I go, because this is something I can't do, or like, I feel maybe like, rejected, like what if they say no, or anything, those kind of thing. And you may completely agree, because most of them in the office, like because of these particular thing, they thinking themselves as very low, they don't go and network. What would you say, like, to these kind of a people, how they can help themselves?
So Ravi, it's something to do with, let's do something as an exercise out here, which will help people understand this, because this is very very important, Ravi.
Hmm.
Uh, you are an introvert, right?
Yep.
So I want to ask you a question. What is your biggest strength?
So, if you ask me, my biggest strength is, I'm always like, a student who wants to learn something, some or the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you learn?
Yeah, I can learn by various ways. Like, it's not only about from books, or maybe from internet information, or maybe from somebody else.
Absolutely. That's the point. So, introverts are very, very powerful.
Yes.
Introverts are, when it comes to self analysis, when it comes to self introspection, introverts are much more powerful than extroverts, because extroverts want to go out and speak and communicate and do a lot of talking.
Hmm.
Whereas it's between, communication is between you and me. Like, for example, now we are communicating. Now, when
Correct.
we are communicating, it's simply you and me. Out here, if I know myself better, I will definitely talk to you in a much better manner, because I know what are my
Hmm.
strengths, I know what are my weaknesses. If I am an introvert and a shy personality, I know that I can't speak for a long time. But can I
Hmm.
speak for a limited amount of time and make a mark?
Yes.
Is the most important thing. And I also say that I am a big time introvert till date. And so many of my mentors are introverts. They say this, that this is what is their strength, because they spend a lot of me time. They do a lot of self analysis. They do a lot of self introspection. And that's what makes them powerful. And now coming to the question, Ravi, which you asked, networking. Networking does not mean that you have to do public speaking, right?
Correct.
Networking means to pick those right people, those right audiences from where you want to learn. That's what you said. That when I have to learn, I seek out books, I seek out for people, I seek out the various opportunities. That's what introverts need to do when it comes to networking. They just have to have an intention of learning and pick those right
Hmm.
people from where they can learn and see how the network expands.
Absolutely, because I remember, like, when I was working in BPO, I was one guy, like, who was shy and introvert. I don't feel like to talk to anybody else. But right now, I can easily get connected to this, like, people like this, like how they can start networking, because it's all about network, because you need to learn, you need to know, and even they should need to know about you. Great, thanks for sharing that, Vishal. Now, Vishal, like, what's your opinion, as most of them like they have asked to leave their company. So is it a scarcity of finding a good job with a good company in the market, or the situation today is just normal as it was before? It is the scarcity which is in their mind, like they don't know like how to get that 5 or 10 kind of a, like, crack that particular interview. What would you like to say on this particular thing?
So, Ravi, first of all, the situation is beautiful right now. The market is bullish. There are opportunities in the market, and especially for the people who are willing to switch, who are looking to grow in their career. As we are talking upon personal branding, which is a seed which comes out from career branding. When you have an intention to brand yourself, to brand your career, it all starts from sharing your thoughts on various forums. Yeah, so that forum could be LinkedIn, that platform could be Instagram, that platform could be Facebook, where you have your community built. If you can share your thoughts, let's say today is Karva Chauth, and I think that today is a beautiful day because my wife is fasting for me, can I build a story around it which connects with my audience, which connects with my people, and share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram? And then the kind of a reciprocation you get from the audience is like building a connection, is building a reputation over there, building a personal brand over there, because they will know you as a person, not only you, about your loved ones, about your family. And that's the step two, Ravi. Step one is finding out a differentiator. Step two is telling about you, telling about your story to the people who want to know you. And when the recruiters get to know you before even the interview,
Correct.
that's where the magic starts happening. I would like to quote a story here of one of my mentees who is Priyanka Khurana. She is an IT person, and she was like, I would say, a struggling mother. She just gave a birth to a beautiful daughter, and 10 months she was like on rest, and then she decided to come to me for a mentorship program, and that's where she started learning from me. And then she took a pledge that I'm gonna take a job offer in 90 days, Vishal. Whatsoever may happen, I'm gonna invest 2 hours daily on what are the things you are telling me. And precisely after 30 or 40 days, 30 to 40 days, she got 10 offer letters. And then
Then
she
offer
picked up an offer,
letters.
and then she picked up an offer, Ravi, which was 280% hike.
Wow. This is just
Being an
amazing.
introvert, being this situation, what we are discussing, that this is what is happening right now, Vishal, the market is bullish or not bullish. It's not about market. It's first about you, how much you believe in yourself. Do you want to build a career as a brand? Do you want to build personal branding? Do you want to share your thoughts, share your story with the people? If you are on with that, if you are exercising that daily consistently for 45 minutes to 1 hour, jobs are going to land in your pocket for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and that is just amazing. Like 280%, because some people might be thinking like they are just struggling to get like at least one or two best offer letter, and then they have to choose. Now here, like like especially you are mentoring these people, and they are getting like so much of hype that itself like says that it's not about the market. It's all about you. Like how you build yourself. That is something which is important. And why do you think, Vishal, especially people like on the other end, like people like Priyanka, your mentee, maybe these are the people who are getting a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of people who are getting a lot of opportunities at the same time with the same experience, with the same skills, and with the same education qualification as well. On the other end, some people they are just struggling for the job and they are not getting. And what is the reason do you think for them, and what they can do it so that they can come out of it and they also start getting the opportunities which is already available in abundance in the market.
So, Ravi, it all boils down to one habit. I teach my mentees one concept, which is a basic concept to start with. In the first masterclass of a 12 weeks program, I would focus on one habit. And that one habit, I call it a term which is called one significant action a day, which probably is the intention of the day if you talk about in the normal language, in the routine. When you get up in the morning, you close your eyes, you meditate, you do exercise, whatever you like, whatever you love, you do that. But when you have the intention of the day clear, that today I am having this OSA, one significant action a day, that this is probably going to be that I have to apply on 10 job portals or apply 10 jobs on a portal on LinkedIn. And I need to make sure that I network with the key stakeholders who are in and around those organizations. So when you start doing that consistently and take it as a habit that I have to do it for next 90 days, 100 days, 120 days, depending upon the kind of a profile you have, it's gonna be there in your mind that I am striving towards this thing as an intent of the day. Today, starting from today, let's say from here to 21 days is what is the time to form a habit. If you are able to consistently do that OSA for 21 days, it's gonna be there. Like we brush, we eat, we take bath, it's a daily routine. Similarly, why can't we make something as a daily routine when it comes to posting an article on LinkedIn, connecting with the people, networking with the people, and getting the job offers, which can be a habit. So for Priyanka, it became a habit. She was giving almost, I would say, that 9 to 10 interviews a day. How did she get those interviews? How did she get those all those things? So that's the comparison between a person who is getting a lot of offers and the person who is not getting offers. It's the one significant action a day which is there in the life of a person who is consistently taking actions every day, be it small, be it big, but that consistency brings that offers to this person, and this person is waiting because there is a irregularity, inconsistency, and a self doubt कि मुझे मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा.
Absolutely, and this is what the differentiator is, Vishal. Like, especially people who are getting the opportunity, and that is what you also teach in your masterminding and everything. The small things, which is the secrets, like which most of them they don't do it. Like, if they start doing it, they also start getting the result. Like, which people are getting, because sitting, hoping, praying, they will not be able to crack the interview. And even they are thinking, if there is something like if I have to get some good jobs in the market, it will come on my way. Like, especially people, there are so many people, they think like, if there is something really an opportunity which is waiting for me, it's something like I can just wait and it will just pop up. But
Yeah.
they don't understand like, how it is going to pop up, unless and until, like, you go ahead and take that step, like one significant step, like as you said,
One
every
significant
day.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
Post
significant
up.
action.
Yeah.
Correct. So maybe writing that articles, those kind of, I think this is what the people, a lot of them, they don't understand it. Good. Now, also, if you see people, there are so many people who are struggling, like you said about the LinkedIn. What are things like they can do, like, this is the one strategy which you have shared, like sharing the articles. What maybe two three things like which you can share it to the audience, which they can start doing it, so that, like, even they can start getting the results, especially when it comes to LinkedIn. I know, like, you more mainly focus in that part also. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in fact, I want to go back to the question, Ravi, when you asked that pre-COVID era and post-COVID era, what is the difference between a personal
Yeah.
brand? So this is the difference.
Hmm.
Pre-COVID era, you have to invest a lot of money. You have to spend a lot of money in advertisement. You have to go and do events or bring people in your events. So all that was like a very big effort. Today, sitting back home, I conduct my live webinars. I have 100 plus people joining every Sunday in my live webinars. I do my 3 day events, which are like completely filled with people, and it's lot of energy, vibes, positivity, which exchange is happening, all that happening digitally. Can you
Correct.
imagine that pre-COVID era? Can you imagine all that happening pre-COVID era? So this is what they need to do, and this is what they need to learn today. LinkedIn is giving you a platform, giving you the network, giving you those stalwarts, CEOs, recruiters, HR heads, whatnot. They all are present. It's just the search of the right stakeholders, be it inside the organization. If you want to grow inside the organization, it's there. It's there inside the organization. You have Zoom call, you have Teams call. I remember during my last days at Havels, I connected with all the stakeholders on a Zoom call sitting home, and it was a fantastic discussion. Otherwise, what could have happened if, let's say, I want to meet Mr. Nilray Gupta as an MD of the company? I would keep asking for an appointment. He is a busy man. He will not give me the appointment. But here, sitting back home, he could give me those 5 minutes and I could share my thoughts, where I'm going, what I'm doing. Is the biggest plus point which we have right now. And LinkedIn is a gold mine, I would say, which is available right now without spending a single rupee. Organically, you can build content, you can muscle the network, you can build a personal brand. Lot of content writers are doing it, and I just love that kind of a work. And people, especially in their mid career, They need to focus on LinkedIn like anything and start posting content, start connecting with the people, and the results will definitely come.
Yeah, and this is what people don't understand, because you said it, like if you have to get an appointment with these executive people, like it's too tough to even get a time. But sitting at home, choosing the right platform, you're able to share the thoughts of yours, and it is absolutely free.
Absolutely.
And this is where people don't understand, and they take it for granted, because I know there are so many people who are looking for the job, and especially in mid careers, and they don't have the LinkedIn profile as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, Ravi, in my last webinar, I asked the 100 plus people who were joining in that how many people have changed their LinkedIn profile picture in last 1 year or 2 years. There were people who said that never. I never changed it. So we don't want to utilize it, and then we expect that the offer letter should come, interview calls should come, and I should crack those interviews. How is it going to happen if you don't put their effort and you don't set up your OSA clear every day and build that habit and see? I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, the compound effect book, Ravi, you must have read. Atomic Habits, you must have read. So these are the
Yes.
book which teach you this concept beautifully. So
Yep. And also, like let's talk about your book as well. Like, you have your book, and what is the title? It's
yeah, I have it handy here. So this is the book, Groom to the Next Version of You. Yeah.
great.
So this book
And
is, yeah, Ravi,
go
please
ahead.
complete.
Yep.
So this book is very close to me because it captures beautifully my journey. How did I start? What all I did during my childhood days? What my parents used to tell me? How I was a naughty child? What I used to do as to kill the time. I would say that I need not study. I don't want to study. Let me play. All those things I've covered in this book, and then from there it moves on to the brilliant concepts of internal grooming and external grooming. It's ultimately going to help you build a personal brand. When you groom yourself internally, that means you have that self confidence, self belief in you, and work on certain principles of building a building self confidence, self respect, self esteem. So it talks about all those elements first, and then external grooming is to do with your appearance. How do you dress? How do you talk to people? So I follow a very strong framework which is ABCD. In addition to dress you already revealed to people. So there is another program which I run is called 21 day grooming challenge, which is my recorded video course. So this is to do with ABCD: appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. So this book is the first thing in my life, and I talk about all these four elements beautifully in this book. So if somebody wants to enhance his or her appearance, somebody wants to develop the behavior, the character which is required in the corporate world, and then the communication skills, body language, eye contact, and non-verbal, verbal communication, and then last element which we have talked on a length is digital presence. So
Yeah.
all that is beautifully captured in this book.
And how can someone get this particular book? Like, it is available only on a specific platform, or
Yeah, it's
how can
available
they
on
go?
Amazon right now, Ravi. It's stock out, but soon will be in back in stock. Yeah,
Absolutely. So, dear audience, like, please go and watch out for this particular book, okay? And like, you can, like, go and get that particular notification. I know it is out of the stock, but yes, like, or maybe like, you can just keep on checking it, okay? Because this is the book which is going to take you to the next version of you. If you really want to build that career branding, and if you're stuck. Now, Vishal, let's talk about the framework, which, because I know like this framework is very 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 powerful of your framework which you're using, and especially it is giving a result, and that is like, just amazing about the dress framework. So could you help us to understand, like, could you help us by sharing the concept of the dress framework in deep, so that like,
yeah,
it will help our audience also in a big way.
yeah. So Ravi, first of all, I want to go back to the time where I thought about this dress as a framework and why it is important. So,
Mm-hmm.
dress as a framework came in from my story itself. And my story was that I was in the corporate world doing certain things up and down, but I never got the time to think of that what makes me unique, what makes me stand out from all the people out here in the corporate world. Everyone is different and
Correct.
everyone is unique, everyone has some qualities, but we never sit back and deep dive into the top four questions which I always ask my mentees. Is the first one is, what are you good at? What makes you different? And then what you can be paid for? And then what are your career branding goals? If someone can answer these four questions every 3 months, it's not a one time exercise, it's an exercise
Mm-hmm.
which everyone needs to conduct every 3 months. I personally do it every 3 months. And when I was answering these questions, Ravi, keeping in mind my story, keeping in mind my struggles, my challenges in my career, so I came across this beautiful concept called dress. And the D is out here clearly telling you to find out your differentiator. Somebody calls it a micro niche, somebody calls it a USP, somebody calls it a passion, but I call it a differentiator because it's an easy term which will resonate with the corporate people, which resonated with
Mm-hmm.
me, which resonates with my mentees. That how are you different from others? You need to find that out
Yes.
to build a career as a brand, to build your career branding. So that's the first step. Second step is R, which wherein again I struggled a lot. I never had a good rapport with my boss. Even though I would share a great rapport with the boss's boss, but my boss were
Mm-hmm.
never, and I was never in sync. I always had a fight. I always had the debated discussions and all those things. I don't know why. I'm still figuring out that why that used to happen. But then of course R stands for relationship with boss, because that's the element, that's the person who will talk about you when it comes to the next step, which is E, exposure to senior management. If you don't have an exposure to senior management, they are the stakeholders who are going to define and decide that whether you deserve a promotion this time or not, whether you deserve a double digit increment or not, whether you deserve a bonus or not, whether you deserve an appraisal or not. So, this is a decision which is not only in the hands of your boss. Your boss can only recommend you, but the exposure part is lying with the upper management. And that's where exposure plays a very important role. Last but not the least, S is smart LinkedIn profile. After you are done with differentiator, after you are done with relationship, after you are done with exposure to senior management, you still not getting it done in the organization, there are no opportunities left, then you need to scout out and start building your LinkedIn profile so that you can attract the right people who can bring a massive change in your career which you have been waiting for. And that completes the dress framework.
That's something which is very unique, I would say, because yeah, and it is like, it's a complete package, I would say, for someone who wants to build their, like, brand, especially in the career, like, guys, follow this framework. Okay, so this will take you to the next level. Great, thanks for sharing that, Vishal. Now also, I can see there are so many people, like, who, first of all, they don't want to go for the interview. I don't know, like, maybe they, because of the fear, or maybe they think that they're not good enough, or maybe they are not able to communicate well, or they don't have a proper network. There would be a different problem. So what would you like to say, like, how can someone get the interview? Definitely through LinkedIn, and there are various platforms, as you already shared. But when they are in the interview, like, especially how they can prepare for their final interview, how they can crack that particular interview, because that is when the, like, the offer letters and everything, the next kind of a conversation is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. So Ravi, it requires practice. Very simple. There are two ways of doing it. One is DIY, do it yourself, practice in front
Mhm.
of a mirror, go to a
Mhm.
clubhouse, and then start talking there and start asking these questions like, tell me about yourself, why did you switch your job, and all that. That's one way of doing it, which is a stereotyped and a monotonous way of doing things. The other way to speed up your journey is to hire a coach, hire a mentor, where there is a ecosystem where there are like-minded people who all of them want to grow in their career, and all of them know that there is no other way of doing it rather than clearing the interviews. And that's what we do in 12 weeks, Ravi. It's not only that there are masterminding sessions, there are mock interview practices which are being done. I have a team under me, those people grill them in the interview like an interviewer. Those people train them that this was the first mock interview, then second mock interview, then third mock interview, and there are levels. And then we give them the score so that they are prepared when they come to the next round. So that's the kind of a process which we have developed, and this helps people prepare for the interviews in a very good manner. And recently, one of the case studies I would like to discuss that. Uh, Ravi, this person was struggling and this person was having exactly the same fear of appearing in the interviews. This person came to me and then practice happened, started practicing with the team. And one fine day, after the first round, second round, third round, all three rounds cleared, and every round there was a practice happening parallelly. And I'm glad to share that this person was so happy and so thankful to the team, especially the co-mentor in my team where this happened. It was like a privileged feeling for them, all of them, that a person who was fearing to get into the interview could crack all three rounds and go to the next level was amazing. Yeah, so that's what happens if you have the intention. So there are two ways, I would repeat: do it yourself or do it with us. So the choice lies with you. If you want to go and get the offers at a speed, invest money, invest in the people, invest on the mentors who have done it, who have achieved it, and then the results are going to come to you.
Great. And I can see like because there earlier there was no these kind of platforms were available, and especially the mentors like who are taking your mock calls, especially like because after giving those like which you are doing, that is just amazing. Because after taking so much of mock calls and like clearing those kind of a mock calls, and if they have to go and crack for the final interview, the real interview, they have just mastered it, and they know that what kind of a question he might ask because he already have done like a lot of mocks and practice. Great.
Yes. And it's all about
So
practice.
yes, yes, it's all about practice. And also like especially people who are in this mid career, right? Because here I want to say like one you said that is DIY, like do it yourself, and other is like having a mentor in your life.
Yeah.
What would you like to say? Like, because I know, especially in India, okay, there are a lot of people, they think that once they have got their degree, once they have landed into their particular job, the learning is finished. The learning is done. So what they think is like the entire learning is already been done, and it's all about me, or maybe like if I'm not getting hired, maybe it's because of that particular boss, or maybe it's because of the company and everything. There is nothing wrong in me, it's everything 100% in me, but it's on the other way. This is what other people most of them they think. So what would you like to say to the audience, especially who think that I don't need to learn more, or I don't need a mentor in my life? Can you like share like your point of view, like what can a mentor do, and like how it is powerful, and what they have to go through if they don't have mentor in their life?
Yeah. Yeah. So a very simple analogy here, Ravi. It's a relationship which is there since we go to the school. There is a relationship between a student and a teacher.
Yes.
There is a relation between a student and a professor. There is a relation between a mentor and a mentee. Yeah, so it's the lifelong learning, right? So when you are a kid, that time also you learn, you grow. you learn from your parents, you learn from the community, you learn from the teachers. And when you go to the next level in the university, you start gearing up for the next level, that you go to get a job, you have to practice certain things. And when you get into a job, there also you have a boss, you have a guide who teaches you so many things so that you can practice them, implement them, and improvise them. And as and when the time passes, 3 years, 5 years down the line, it becomes easier for you because you've been able to do those things with a practice. Now, how does a mentor creates a big impact, first of all, in someone's life who has already done so many degrees, so many qualifications, so many certifications? A mentor speeds up the journey. A mentor gives you that medicine, which probably is a quick fix, like a doctor. A doctor gives you a medicine when you have pain somewhere. So, a good mentor, I would always say, is someone who knows the problem, who finds out the problem. And when you have to hire a mentor, when you have to learn about a mentorship program, so you go to find out that thing in that mentor, that this person can diagnose my problem. If the person can diagnose the problem well within time, let's say 1 or 2 master classes, 1 or 2 one-on-one sessions, depending upon the formula, depending upon the process they have developed, then probably you will get those vibes as a mentee that this person can really help me speed up my journey, because he or she is acting like a doctor who knows the process, who knows the problem, and can definitely give me the medicine. And that's what brings the change, Ravi. And that's what is the change, where I know I have mentees now who are 50 plus. I'm for a position of a virtual CFO. Does that person need me as a mentor who is 38 years old and is from the corporate world and is teaching dress framework or teaching some principles of appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence? Yes, why not? Because he is master in finance. I am master in grooming. And that's where the synergy is. And it is not that a mentor does not learn from mentee. A good mentor is someone who learns from the mentees and excels and changes his or her programs accordingly and keeps marching forward. And that journey is not only for a mentee, for a mentor. So, to answer your question, it is a lifelong learning.
Yes.
A mentor keeps learning from his or her mentors. A mentor keeps learning from his or her mentees. A mentee can learn from mentor and can start teaching that to his or her spouse, kids, family. So the learning has to be there. And I follow 4 steps. I want to tell you, Ravi. The first thing
Yeah.
where all the mid-career professionals are stuck is the comfort zone. So they feel that they're getting 10% increment, that is good enough, and they will keep moving like that, and their life will get over, their career will get over, and they will keep getting that 10% increment. They're happy with it. That justifies them. But I tell them that, why don't you explore something which is after the comfort zone, which is called a fear zone? Why don't you get into a fear zone where you will be tested, where you will be challenged, where you will get to know your potential? And then comes the third zone, which is the question, which is the learning zone. If you are not going to the learning zone, you're not learning every day from a mentor, from a book, from a teacher, from a guide, from a boss, then you are not a complete personality for me. Then you are an incomplete personality, because you are happy with what you have got. You don't want to know more. You don't want to learn more. You don't want to implement more. You don't want to grow more. And that's where the final zone comes in, is called the growth zone. And these are the steps. I don't know any other step which is there. It's the comfort zone, then to the fear zone, then to the learning zone, and then comes the growth zone. If somebody follows these 4 steps, I'm sure that person is following the principle of a lifelong learner. And a mentor, especially a mentor who is following these 4 steps, is a good mentor to have in his or her life.
Yeah, thanks for sharing about the mentor, because I see there are so many people, like now it has been increased, but earlier, if you see, like there are so many people, they just don't believe in learning more. They just think like whatever education, if I have got my degree certification like MBA degree, I'm fine with it. Why I should learn? But they don't know that the things has been changed. The
Absolutely.
degrees which you have done earlier, or maybe 10, 20, 25 years before, that doesn't have that much of impact in the business right now.
Absolutely.
So that is and that is where the mentor, people like you who comes into the picture, and they teach them about the new things which is happening in the market, so that they can crack that particular code, and they can get that particular high.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not always, Ravi, that a mentee has an option to choose a mentor. A mentor these days, like me, I make sure that in my webinar, 100 people join, I get them the application filled in there, and I make sure that my team scouts it and checks the basic, the two C's, commitment and common sense. If it's there, then only we take that person to move ahead in the 3 day event. Otherwise, we cancel the application then and there, because that attitude reflects in the application itself. There are 5 questions, and if they're like filling yes, no, and not giving the detailed answer, that shows their attitude, that they're not going to go ahead and put even this much effort. Who cannot fill in an application of 2 to 3 minutes, how will that person go on and attend the 3 day event and change the career? So that's the
Absolutely.
process.
And also it's again, it's a waste of time from the mentor end as well.
Absolutely.
Because same, if he is someone, the mentee, who is not interested in learning something new, and if his cup is full and he don't want to learn, why not, that particular slots, that particular seats can be given to somebody else who is in the real need, and who wants to, eager to learn and becoming a humble student. Why not? Great.
Absolutely.
Now, how can someone, get in touch with you, Vishal? People, who wants to build their career branding, and especially in the mid careers, and experience with around 1 to 5 years. That is where your sweet spot is, right?
So my
The experience.
experience is from 5 to 20 years.
5 to 20 years. Okay, my bad. So from 5 to 20 years. So how can they get in touch with you? How they can, if they want to learn from you, and they want to get mentor with you, how can they can get in touch?
Yeah, it's a very simple process, Ravi. It's the master class which I conduct every Sunday. It's a 3 hour master class where I conceptually teach them the dress framework. And I give them so many examples and so many case studies from my mentees, from me, my own life, from the journey I have traveled. That person probably is able to make a decision that, is Vishal the person whom I can see as a long time, lifelong mentor? And that decision is being taken through a masterclass, which happens to be on Sunday. And people can come to that masterclass. It starts at 11 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. But I can guarantee, I can promise, the shift which happens in those 3 hours is next level.
Yeah, and I just reminded about your one of the story. If you can share that, that will be good. I reminded about your story. You were in a high paying job, you got some good opportunities, but still you rejected that particular offer, and you're doing this particular thing so that you can help others to double their income and growth. Could you talk about that particular thing?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
I think so it was 60-70 lakhs offer letter. Could you please share that?
Yeah, so I was working at a package of 60 lakhs, Ravi, and that was a handsome amount, and I was really living a great life. Me and my family, we used to go for double international trip every year. We had everything what a general middle class family needs. But then there was a bigger ask, a bigger hunger inside me, that one is, of course, I wanted to develop a personal brand, that how I can do all these things what I've done for brands like Philips and Havels, how I can do that for me. And the second was that, when will that time come when I will start giving immensely back to the society? I've been a mid-career professional. I've been struggling in my career for good 6 7 years. I faced ups and downs. Now is the time to pass on these things and inspire many more people to build that journey. And that's where this thought came, to leave that high paying job and do something which is crazy. And it is crazy, I am telling you, because I get to know so many interesting people, I get to know so many interesting stories, and it is helping me become a better person every day, a better learner every day. And that's what a journey is, a lifelong journey, a lifelong learner journey is like this. and that gives me a kick to keep doing, to keep empowering people, to keep giving back to the society, and to groom 1 million people. I don't know this number can be achieved how fast, and then I have another mission coming up very clear in my head, but I want to stick to it. 1 million first, and then comes the next number. Yeah, so that's how the progress has been made, Ravi. And just to add to my story, it's not only the package, it's also that, I was based out of Delhi, Noida, and I've been to Bombay, been to Bangalore, I've traveled the country across. And but then I was always connected to my hometown, which is Chandigarh. My parents are based out of here. I wanted my daughter, my son. I have a daughter who is 5 years old. My son is just 11 months. So I just want both of them to get a complete family, a learning, a culture, and the festivals which we celebrate out here, and the people, the way we connect with each other heart to heart, and the pollution free environment. Everything out here is available. So that's the basic. If you are not getting your basic right, then the things would not make a lot of sense to you. So I'm living a holistic life now, Ravi, enjoying the work, enjoying the family life, enjoying the time freedom, enjoying a great success also, because I feel successful when I see my mentees getting successful. And when they share their case studies, then when they get the offer letters, when they get the massive shifts in their confidence, in their skills, that's what is gonna give this community, this society a great push. And that's why this big mission is there from Vishal School of Grooming.
Great, great, and kudos to your mission, and like all the success to you, and also guys in the audience, especially if you are stuck in your career, okay, go and get connected with this person, okay, and go and watch his master class. And also the journey starts from now. Like go ahead and get his book, get notified whenever it is available, and get start your journey, okay, because unless and until this is the time and this is the era where you are not going to judge by your experience, or maybe just which company you have worked and everything. It's all about your brand. It's about your personal brand, like what you have done, what you are doing, like how engaging you are, what are things you are doing in the market, and also the attitude. And that is
Absolutely.
what overall as a complete package, this man Vishal Manocha, who is going to groom you to the next level. And yeah, so go ahead and get connected with him soon. So Vishal, so we have come towards the end of our talk show today. So I would say thank you so much for giving us time and sharing this wonderful secrets. And these are the small, it might some are small things, but this is very crucial, and that is something which is gives you an extra edge and take the career to the next level. And also wonderful framework shared by Vishal, which is dress framework, and then ABCD. There are a lot of things as a a host. I also got to learn many things from you, Vishal. So
Thank
what
you.
would the last one advice you would like to give to the people who is watching, or who will be watching this recording?
I think the one strong message which I firmly believe in is that building a personal brand is a byproduct of your story, of who you are. If you get to know yourself and find out that what is inside you as a true potential, if you can start working on that true potential starting from this moment, this minute, that I know at the back of the mind, even if you sit right now and after this session, if you're feeling empowered, if you're feeling charged up, go back and close yourself in a room for 20 minutes and think about it. What is that undefined, unidentified potential inside me, which I would start working on from this moment itself and make it big? And I am sure that moment, this moment, when you lock yourself for 20 minutes, is going to be the defining moment of your life. And that's where your personal branding journey will kickstart.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vishal. And once again, thank you so much for having you here in in my show. It was just awesome, and great. Thank you so much.
You're a great host, Ravi. I loved this show. I loved your questions. I am really, really happy and glad that you had me on this show. guys, this show is amazing. I would also like to tell you that Ravi Nadar show is the show which you must follow. Wonderful job. Love.